Today, we're getting into the story of a football icon who is, well, a walking contradiction, Neymar Jr. We're talking about a player with absolutely breathtaking talent, a true global superstar who's also managed to have a career just as famous for scandal as it is for skill. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? How can one of the most gifted players of a generation also be one of the most controversial? To really get our heads around this, we're going to break down his record into three key areas, starting with some of his most serious legal troubles.
Okay, so first up, his battles in the courtroom. And just to be clear, we're not talking about small-time disputes. These are high-stakes cases with huge allegations, fraud, corruption, that have followed him for years across multiple countries.
It all really kicked off with that massive move to Barcelona back in 2013. But what looked like a dream transfer pretty quickly turned into a legal nightmare. You can see how it escalated here. By 2017, Spanish prosecutors were actually recommending jail time, and the whole thing finally went to trial in 2022. That's almost a decade after the deal was even signed. And at the very center of this case is this one huge number, 83 million euros. Now, the official transfer fee was reported as way, way lower. Prosecutors basically alleged that this was the real price tag. The whole accusation was that the difference was hidden on purpose, all to avoid paying millions to an investment firm that owned a piece of Neymar's transfer rights. That one number just shows you the massive scale of the alleged fraud. And the Barcelona case wasn't a one-off thing. Back home in Brazil, authorities charged him in 2015 with evading millions in taxes. Now, that criminal case was eventually dropped, but it still added another pretty serious legal chapter to his off-the-field story. Then in 2019, Neymar faced probably the most serious personal allegation of his life when a model accused him of rape in a Paris hotel. He denied it, very strongly. After investigation, prosecutors in São Paulo eventually closed the case, saying there just wasn't enough evidence to move forward. Okay, so let's move on to our second category, drama on the pitch. Because the controversies, they aren't just limited to his life off the field, oh no. Even during a 90-minute match, Neymar's career has been packed with moments that have grabbed headlines and a whole lot of criticism. This slide does a great job of showing the two different flavors of his on-field controversies. Over on one side, you've got just pure aggression, that meltdown at the 2015 Copa America. And then on the other, you have the theatrics, the infamous diving and people accusing him of faking injuries during the 2018 World Cup. And the punishment for that 2015 outburst? It was serious, a 4-game ban. I mean, for a player that important to his team, that's a huge blow. It completely ended his tournament. So yeah, this wasn't just a slap on the wrist. And the criticism for his theatrics was just as harsh. This quote here from Mexico's coach at the World Cup really sums up how frustrated people were. The feeling wasn't just that he was trying to bend the rules, it was that he was setting a really bad example for the entire sport. All right, and that brings us to our final section, life in the spotlight. This is where those lines between personal choices and professional duties get super blurry, and it just creates this constant stream of controversy completely away from the game. Just look at this timeline from 2023. It shows how his private life is anything but private. In June, he puts up a public apology on Instagram, of all places, for cheating on his pregnant girlfriend. Then, just 5 months later, she confirms they're done. It's a pattern we see again and again, his personal life becoming a public soap opera. And then there's the whole celebrity lifestyle, which seems to constantly clash with his day job. A perfect example? His huge 28th birthday party. I'm talking a massive, all-white themed bash at a Paris nightclub thrown just 2 days before a really important league match. And the reaction from his own coach at PSG, Thomas Tuchel, was immediate and very public. He did not hold back. He said flat out that this kind of thing was just not how a top-level professional athlete should be preparing. But here's the real kicker. What happened right after? Neymar missed his team's very next game. The reason given was an injury he apparently picked up right around the time of the party. So that directly connected his lifestyle to his job. And boy, did the criticism get intense. And honestly, the list just keeps going. From getting investigated by UEFA for a salty Instagram post about refs, to getting in a shouting match at a concert, to breaking environmental laws at his own house, it all just creates this constant pattern of drama. And we're not talking about small problems here. That illegal artificial lake he had built at his home in Brazil, that came with a pretty hefty price tag, a fine of over $3 million. It's just another example of a personal choice blowing up into a serious public and financial mess. So after looking at all of this, the legal stuff, the on-field drama, the lifestyle choices, what does it all mean? Well, it paints a picture of a really, really complicated legacy, one where this incredible talent is always fighting for space with all the controversy. So, what's the big takeaway here? As you can see, the controversy isn't just about one part of his life. It's everywhere. From the courtroom to the pitch to his personal life, there's this persistent cloud of drama that follows him, and it often overshadows his just immense talent. And that leaves us with one final thought. In sports, incredible talent, it can fade, but a legacy, for better or for worse, that stuff tends to stick around. For Neymar Jr., the question isn't just about how great of a player he was, it's about what else he'll be remembered for.